On December 12th, 2021, the news was reporting that Sonora Pass near the Sierras was going to get 60 to 80 inches of snow with wind gusts up to 100 miles an hour. That didn't stop our adventure. I remember thinking to myself driving into this trip that this would either be really dumb or it would make for a great story. I'll leave that up to you to decide.
Full fuckload of washers.
Drift went a very different direction.
Looks perfect. In Kashmir? It's like that's...
I think they
I remember feeling a bit of unease leading into this trip. What helped me have a bit of peace about this was our hours of planning calls. We discussed various concerns we had. We candidly discussed various worst-case scenarios of what we might encounter, as well as the gear that we would be bringing, the resources we had available, so that we were as prepared as we could be going into this trip.
Oh, bro.
basically most people have died.
Humanists became known as Mark Twain, Motorsport, roughing.
I made it probably halfway down
In these conditions that you're witnessing here, everything matters. The temperatures that we were experiencing, the forecasted temperatures, the inclines, the descents, the off-camber ridges that we were to drive, the ice underneath the snow, the frozen dirt that could turn into mud. Knowing our gear and how it would perform at different temperatures and different elevations, open communication served us in preparing for this trip. Rich, the gentleman in front of me, is an Air Force mechanic who works on aircrafts. He has a curious mind, a nuanced mind. On this trip, I learned that Rich was headed east to celebrate his father's life. Not through a memorial service, but through a hosting of his father's photos that him and his sister were hosting. Rich's dad was a commercial photographer, Rich described his dad as a structured man, high energy, sometimes stubborn, sometimes intense. I'm grateful that Rich shared his story with me on this adventure we were on. On our third day, we went back to an area to try to find a hot spring. We found it. Our time was cut short though because the sun was coming out and the off-camber ridge line that we drove in on had some frozen dirt that we knew was going to turn into mud. And that was not a risk we were willing to take.